The consumption of the natural resources in the country is extensive. The weather is so unpredictable, and the Earth is definitely warming. Signals of a changing climate, increasing trends in temperature, sea level rise, and extreme climate events are already evident in the Philippines. The protection of the nation's biodiversity, natural resources, and environment are the rising challenges for the Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau. On June 10, 1987, under the Executive Order 192, the former Forest Research Institute, or FORI, was reorganized into ERDB. From mostly basic research on forest production, management, and development technologies, ERDB shifted its focus to put research, development, and extension in the mainstream of DENR operations to answer the needs of the present time.
The Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau, or ERDB for short, is the research arm of the DENR. And as a member of the DENR family, it contributes in a manner where technologies and information are generated and disseminated on the sustainable management of ecosystems, environmental protection, with the objective of contributing to the improvement of the quality of life of the ordinary Filipinos. Its vision is basically relevant research, development, and extension for the sustainable management of our natural resources, environmental protection, and definitely resulting to an improved quality of life for Filipinos for this generation as well as future generations. So basically, it realizes the vision rather by way of doing research, development, and extension work with information and technologies as outputs. And the ERDB is not alone in the DNR in doing this. It helps, guides, advises, and works with the counterparts in the DNR regional offices, the Ecosystems Research and Development Service, in the implementation of its mandate, which are enshrined in its Environment and Natural Resources Research, Development, and Extension Framework, which corresponds with the administration. So we see a cycle of frameworks being carried out which caters to the priorities of the national government, the DNR, and to respond to urgent concerns such as climate change, disaster risk management, and others that may be identified in the course of implementing its plans and programs.
The organization implements R&D programs to provide strategies for the sustainable management of the country's 5 major ecosystems: forest, upland farms, grassland and degraded areas, coastal zone and freshwater, and urban areas.
ERDB has notable accomplishments which benefit the stakeholders. Some of the technologies of ERDB are on clonal propagation of dipterocarps and other indigenous forestry species, mangrove management, rehabilitation and propagation, and bamboo and rattan propagation, plantation establishment, and harvesting techniques. The research, development, and extension programs of ERDB are attuned with the priority programs of the Aquino government and the DNR, which are specifically on climate change adaptation and mitigation, resources conservation, protection, and productivity.
ERDB's projects are categorized into 5 programs, which include 4 programs on R&D and 1 program on technology transfer and extension.
The Ecosystem Research and Development Bureau has a program on climate change. It has 3 main components. One is on adaptation, second is mitigation, third is disaster risk management. We are trying to determine the adaptive capacity or coping mechanisms of our coastal communities in the Philippine Eastern Seaboard. Now, we are trying to determine also the comparative analysis of the adaptive capability of the coastal dwellers from small islands to main islands. The third one is on disaster risk management, where we have already come up with a book on how to assess VA or vulnerability assessment for watersheds.
One of our projects is that of the rehabilitation of the mined-out areas, and we have successfully tested and screened species for the rehabilitation of the mine waste dump in Itogon, which we have presented in the Forest P, and projects on the application of our present ongoing study, the landscape functional analysis. We have done trainings along this line, meeting the requirements of the different DNR sectors involved in rehabilitation as well, and also addressing the biodiversity. And we're coming to a point where there is really a need for good monitoring and assessment, an assessment tool to see that rehabilitation is on its good phase, no? On our end, as a researcher, we want to see that this project would be internalized or institutionalized, so that our different sectors in the DNR would have a common understanding on the assessment and the monitoring of a good rehabilitation area.
Program on environmental management and pollution control of the ecosystems research and development focuses on the environmental problems that beset our country. And the aim of this program is to provide clean air, water, and clean land for our people, so that the standard of living or quality of life is improved or worth living. Our research and development program on environmental management and pollution focuses on the solid waste disposal or management in the local government units. We hope that the other areas in the country will be covered by these projects by next year.
Okay, we have this research and development program on forestry improvement in support to our national building program. Basically, this program consists of 6 projects. We have 2 big projects which have component activities. The first project component deals on the germplasm collection, seed production, and seed banking of superior forestries. Now, the second project is on forestry domestication with 5 component activities. Third project is the validation and pilot testing of vegetative propagation techniques in the nursery. And this has 2 components, the macro propagation and the micro propagation. Fourth project deals on the evaluation of the effects of different nursery cultural practices and the growth and performance of priority forestry species. The fifth project basically is the production of quality planting materials, which is ongoing. And the sixth project is the development and management of database and information systems. So the inputs for this project will come from the different projects under the program. So we hope that this program, as it is in support of the National Green Program, will push through until 2016 and beyond, since the objective of this program is to produce quality planting materials for not only for the NGP but other similar activities.
The Technology Transfer and Extension Program of the research sector is a new program for 2013, and it will focus on the implementation of activities that will involve the ecosystems research and development service offices, particularly the technology transfer division and staff. The activities will focus on technology assessment, production, and dissemination of IEC materials through the tri-media, extension services composed of conduct of technology forum, application of the partner band extension strategy that was formulated in the previous years, and the post-technology evaluation of ENR technologies that have been transferred. And lastly, the other component is on the use of demonstration areas as a strategy for transferring technologies.
ERDB actively supports the government's programs which tackle issues on gender sensitivity, women and children. Through the ERDB Gender and Development Focal Point System, activities such as monitoring of gender mainstreaming, workshops and seminars, and gender advocacy and promotion were implemented. ERDB's leadership and directions comes from the Office of the Director and the Assistant Director, and supported by the Planning and Management Information Services Unit and the Finance and Administration Services Division. ERDB has 4 research and development divisions whose work is dedicated to develop and generate technologies for the sustainable management of the country's major ecosystems, and a division for technology transfer services. ERDB also has facilities and demonstration areas that support the research undertakings of the Bureau and attend to the R&D assistance needed by clients. ERDB also maintains Ecosystems Research and Services Laboratory. One of the facilities is the Los Baños Experiment Station, or LBES.
Experiment station is purposely established or set up to showcase all the technologies that we have developed then and now. We have a number of technologies that are being enjoyed by those people who are plucking out, who are visiting the area, and whether students or those who are interested in coming up with their own system of, let's say, plantation or growing other kind of species, be it bamboo, rattan, or the endemic or indigenous species that we can see in Mount Makiling. And other than this station is serving as a laboratory for those who would like to undergo training, and we look forward to link whatever we have to other clients and those people who are interested in venturing in this kind of endeavor. So from a mere station, we would like to expand further the Lisbonese experiment station to an ecotourism site, and we have already started this. And in collaboration with the technical divisions, we look forward to establishing butterfly gardens and for them as well to set up a wildlife sanctuary.
ERDB produces regular publications, special guidebooks and manuals, and other IEC materials which help in addressing the clientele needs. The accomplishment of all these endeavors is made possible with a partnership of linkage which the bureaus established with international and local agencies and organizations.